Hello again, my millionaire family. I'm so sorry we missed out on last week's weekly Forex forecast. However, need not to worry. For this week, we shall be picking up the pieces. Now, just a quick disclaimer before we actually get into what we have here for today. Today's video is for educational purposes only. All views are my opinion and are not intended as investment advice. Forex is a high reward, high risk business, and you should not trade with borrowed money or money you cannot afford to lose. Any investments made in light of these ideas and opinions are committed at your own risk. Now, let us begin. That's why, in order for us to effectively formulate our biases in the Forex market. Now, as you would have seen in my previous weekly forecast, right, I have been speaking about the DXY in detail, right, explaining that, hey, you know, what we're basically seeing here is that the DXY is trying to make a move to the downside, right? And we were saying that if you take a look at it right over in March, right, you would have seen where the DXY basically gave us a impulsive leg to the downside, and of course after which gave us a correction, then immediately after gave us another impulsive leg, right? And I was basically saying that based on what I am seeing right here, it seems as if the DXY is going to give us another correction, then an impulsive leg once again. And ladies and gentlemen, as you can see, right, that is exactly what happened, right? Now, what is next for the DXY? Now, in my personal opinion, right, and this is just my opinion, guys, right, I am basically expecting the DXY to actually push upside for a short moment, right? However, right, it can also be for long term, right? But overall, my bias for this week for the DXY is to the upside, right? And if you take a look at the monthly time frame, right, gentlefolks, let's take a look at the monthly time. If you take a look at the monthly time frame, right, you can see that the DXY is basically sitting in a ascending channel, right? And for those of us who are actually trading the Forex market, right, we know exactly what an ascending channel is, and we know the nature of an ascending channel, right? So right now for this upcoming week, right, as I said before, my bias for this asset is to the upside, right? Now let's take a look at the EURUSD. Now for the EURUSD friends and family, right, I basically caught a trade on the EURUSD early in the morning, right, Friday, right? So last week Friday, I actually caught a trade on the EURUSD, and as you can clearly see, right, that is my entry, right? Because I normally just try to get the perfect entries, guys, right? And of course, you know, as you are seeing my weekly forecast, I might not be showcasing, right, how I go about my entries and stuff, because that's basically for my students, right? So I can't really showcase that information. However, what I can definitely advise and what I can showcase is direction, right? And for this week, we are expecting for the EURUSD to push to the downside. So if my bias is correct for the DXY, which is to push to the upside, then of course, ladies and gentlemen, EURUSD will inevitably push to the downside, right? So we're just basically monitoring to see what's going on, right? So I caught that trade and we're basically up around 100 and I think it's 120 pips so far, right? So as you can clearly see, I suffered no drawdown, right? So that was indeed a wonderful trade. Now let's take a look at the amazing gold, ladies and gentlemen. Now for this pair, you know, the reason why I am definitely excited about this pair is because of the trade that I actually caught on the asset, right? If you take a look at guys, if you take a look at my entry, right, if you take a look at my risk to my reward, right, you will clearly see that this is just astonishing, right? So I basically caught this trade with I think I had a 60 pip stop loss, right? So my stop loss for this asset was actually 60 pips, right? And my take profit was what? around 2,000 pips, right? I think the profit was around I think I ended up catching around almost 1,900 pips, right? Because I was basically watching to see if it would have reached the exact 2,000. Maybe it did, but I never saw it. So I caught around almost 1,900 pips. But let me show you guys a screenshot, right? So you can actually see the trade that we took with gold, right? Take a look at it. You know, they may have caught this move as well, right? So congratulations to those persons who caught this move as well, right? So we basically risked like 60 pips to gain like 1,900 pips, right? For me, I think that's impressive, right? I don't know about you and what you're catching, but for me, I think that is it. That is definitely a very good risk to reward. Now, what are we expecting for gold for this upcoming week? Now, my bias for this pair is basically to the downside, right? Because you see, the thing about it is that from the beginning, right, when I started having the weekly forecast, right, I spoke about gold rallying to the high that we faced in 2010, right? We spoke about that high that gold faced, right? And we said, we clearly indicated that if anyone was trying to sell gold, right, it was like committing suicide, right? I'm sure many of you would remember that weekly forecast when I spoke about gold, right? And it's remarkable how you know, we forecasted that move, and it definitely happened. So guys, one thing I can tell you, right, I may not show you exactly all my strategies that I use on my charts, right, but when it comes on to direction, guys, right, I definitely I am good at telling, right, or foretelling the directions, right? So please take advantage, guys, of my Forex weekly forecast, because guess what? It is going to enhance, it is going to help, it is going to allow you to actually be a better trader and be more consistent, because guess what? Knowing the direction, right, that's a major help, right? So if I predict that the market will be going up, right, it's up to you to actually try and find entries, right, for the market actually going up. If I say it's going down, right, you would have to ensure that you try to figure out how you can get your entries for going down, right? Of course, I will not be giving signals here showing you, you know, telling you when it's going down, or, you know, or how it's going to be going down, or how you could go about getting your entries, right? Because as I said before, I cannot give away what I teach my students, right? So I can definitely help you, right, with forecasting the direction of the market, right? And I definitely think that that's a major help, guys, right? That's a major help for you guys, right, to actually go about your weekly trades. Now, let's move on to the next pair that we have here. Now, guys, let me tell you something, right? We spoke about the GBPJPY, right? Guys, if you want to check my previous weekly forecast, you could definitely go ahead, because we definitely spoke about the GJ, right? And I clearly indicated, guys, that the GBPJPY would be making a move to the upside, right? I clearly stated that that was actually my bias in the Forex market, right? And right now we're actually seeing the GBPJPY at extreme highs once again. Now, what are we expecting next, right? My bias for this pair for this upcoming week, right? I'm basically looking into the GBPJPY. It might give us a little push up first, right, before plummeting to the downside, right? So my bias for this pair is actually to the downside, right? So I'm basically expecting, right, the market to push to the downside for this week, right? So guys, you do not want to miss this trade, right? You do not want to miss out on this massive, this great opportunity on the GBP JPY. Now let's take a look at our other currency pair. Now for the USD CAD for this week, right, I am basically looking for the asset to actually push to the upside, right? So Friday, right, not only did I actually catch the EURUSD trade, right, but I'm also in the USD CAD trade as well, right? So guys, try and take advantage, right? Try and take advantage, right, of the weekly forex forecast, because this will definitely allow you to make profits in the forex market, right? So for the USD CAD, we are looking for the asset to take a turn to the upside. So guys, you do not want to miss this trade as well, right? So guys, right, as we go throughout our weeks, right, please ensure that we try to exercise risk management, right? And guys, you do not need to over leverage, right? It does not make sense you try to over leverage and then burn up your account, right? So just take your time, guys, right? Remember to take your time, and patience is the key, right? And try not to be too aggressive, right? Try to be more on the conservative side, right? So you're able to manage yourself better in the forex market, right? These are my few words, ladies and gentlemen, right? If you do appreciate this content, right, please ensure that you drop a like, drop a comment, and ensure that you drop your subscription, right? So remember, guys, to subscribe, right, and to ensure that you turn on your notification bell, so as soon as I drop more content for the family here, right, and for you, right, you will be notified. So guys, let us take on this week, right, and secure the bag, right? Do enjoy the week ahead, my loving people, right? And I will catch you on the next one, right? This is my few words. Have a good one. I'm out.